Hi everyone, welcome back to K Reviews. My name is Kirk, and on this channel I unbox, review, and give my honest opinions on tech and household items. If you find this channel helpful, or if you want more videos much like this one, please consider subscribing because every Thursday I'm going to be uploading a brand new video. And we have some pretty cool comparison videos coming up, so you're going to want to stay tuned in and check those out. Alright, so I'm super excited about today's review because it's an Apple product, which I'm a huge fan of, but today we're going to walk through, unbox, and talk about some of the features of the brand new iPad Air and Pencil from Apple. So, without further ado, let's get into today's review. So, Apple originally introduced the iPad back in 2010 to all of us who really didn't know we needed an iPad, and then all of a sudden we all needed iPads because they simply created a market for this new product. But 10 years later, we now have the iPad Air 2020 version, or the iPad Air 4th generation. So let's unbox this guy and check it out. So this year's version of the iPad Air comes in a few different color options that we haven't seen before. It comes in this space gray color that I have today. It also comes in a green, a silver, a sky blue, and a rose gold. It also is offered in two different storage size options, so you can get a 64 gigabyte or a 256 gigabyte storage. Beyond the storage space, you can get a cellular version or just the plain Wi-Fi version of this iPad. And if you're planning on using this iPad away from Wi-Fi quite often, you're going to need to get the cellular package so you can have internet access wherever you go. But both offer 10 hours of battery life, which is going to keep you going most of the day. So you're probably not going to plan to use this as your main photo taking gadget within your house, but it does come with a pretty hefty camera on the back that is 12 megapixels, and then on the front it offers a 7 megapixel for your FaceTime or your Zoom calls. And then something else to mention, it does shoot 4K video at 24, 30, and 60 frames per second. So pricing is going to vary a little bit, but it starts off at $599 for just the Wi-Fi version that comes in a 64 gigabyte storage space. But if you go up to the 256 gigabyte storage space with the cellular package, it's going to cost you $879. So along the lines of really anything that Apple makes, the build quality on this iPad is really nice. The back is made out of aluminum, so it's really light, living up to the Air name. Really, it looks super similar to my iPad Pro that I have. It's maybe a little thinner. It looks really similar actually. So this is last year's version of the iPad Pro, and then this is the new iPad Air. So really it's almost identical, but this is a little bit lighter than the Pro. So you remember how all Apple products used to have that button with a fingerprint reader on it? Well, they did away with that when they started using Face ID. Well, now we're back to needing that because we all wear masks nowadays and Face ID doesn't work with a mask. So when you're setting up your new iPad, you can add fingerprints to be able to easily unlock your iPad with a simple push of a button now. This makes keeping your iPad protected very simple since it's literally no delay and you can press the button to unlock or lock your iPad. The second cool feature that I want to mention is thanks to Apple now allowing the iPad Airs to be compatible with the Apple Pencil, and that feature is Scribble. Scribble is probably one of my favorite features about an iPad because it kind of shocks me every single time I use it. So in any text area, you can use the pencil to handwrite notes that then turn into text instantly. So here I want to say a quick thank you for watching my video, and voila, it turns into text, which is pretty nifty because I don't really have great handwriting. All right, so the last little feature that I want to mention that I personally use a lot on my iPad Pro is the ability to quickly open and access notes. So if you're sitting down to a meeting or if you're in class and you want to quickly jot down a note, you can take your pencil and just click and hold, and it instantly opens up the Note app and you can start writing a note, which if you have Scribble turned on, will turn into text. Something else that I do want to mention, just in case you don't know, the Apple Pencil magnets to the side of your iPad and will wirelessly charge, which is really nice. The first generation of the Apple Pencil had a little cap here and you'd have to pop that off and then plug it into the bottom of your iPad, which was really precarious, and I saw a lot of people would break it off on accident. So this was a really smart design by Apple, but it probably leads to the only negative thing that I have to say about this iPad setup in general, and that is the magnets are good, but they could be a little bit stronger, because if you happen to put this in your backpack or you're walking along and you brush it against something, the pencil can really pop off, and I've had to replace a few of the tips before because it drops and breaks the tip, which you can replace pretty cheaply. But that's the only negative that I probably would have to say, that I wish they were a little bit stronger, or that Apple would have come up with a little bit better way to charge and secure this. So after all of that, my opinion is that Apple made a pretty smart move by making this iPad Air at the price point that they did make it at. It's $200 cheaper than the cheapest iPad Pro right now, and it really does most everything that an iPad Pro does. It has the capability to have the pencil, it has a really good camera, has a really nice looking screen. So I would recommend this probably over the iPad Pro. With 10 hours of battery life and its lightweight design, you're going to be able to take this iPad really wherever you're going to need to go, whether that be the office or class, and you're going to be able to jot down a really quick note, you're going to be able to respond to an email, watch a movie, or take a Zoom call. And it's going to do all of those things really well. All right, so that brings us to the end of today's review on this iPad Air by Apple and the Apple Pencil. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Otherwise, let me know in the comments down below how you would use an iPad and if you would get the Apple Pencil with it. Either way, I really appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you all in the next review.